All right, good evening, everybody. We're on Daf Samech Zayin Amud Bet, and we're going to finish the sixth Perek tonight. So that'll be exciting. And we're continuing some of our discussion of some Talmudic medicine, and we get into incantations and some actually very interesting and important topic of Darkei Emori. How do we define what is called something that is the ways of the Amorites, that would be called that would be sorcery and magic and prohibited, or what is permitted, even though it looks like it's magic and sorcery. So it gets into very some technical matters, but there's really important principles overlying it. Okay, we were talking about some remedies for fevers, and the Rav Huna says, "Amar Rav Huna l'ishtad tilta," for a fever that comes every 3 days. Laiti shib'a silve mishib'a dikle v'shib'a sibe mishib'a kushure v'shib'a sichem mishib'a gishure v'shib'a ketime mishib'a tanure v'shib'a afre mishib'a sinre v'shib'a kufre mishib'a arbe v'shib'a bune kamone v'shib'a bini b'dikna v'tkalba saba l'sayirinu b'chalala debe savara v'nira barka. You can see the key word here is 7. It's a 3-day. It's one comes every 3 days, but for some reason, still, the solution is something that has to do with a lot of 7. So you bring 7 thorns from 7 palm trees and 7 slivers of 7 beams, 7 pegs from 7 bridges, and 7 ashes from 7 ovens, and 7 dust from door sockets. In those days, they didn't have hinged doors like we have, but rather pivot doors, and so the socket underneath would collect a lot of dust. So that one would be easy to get. The rest of them look like it would be, it's like a scavenger hunt on steroids. 7 types of tar from 7 boats and cumin seeds, and 7 hairs from the beard of an old dog. Don't want to forget that one. And you put it in and you bind it next to your neck with a thread of hair, and that should do the trick. All right. So yeah, you can go and try this. Let me know. Let me know if it works. אמר רבי יוחנן, אשתה סמירתא דשקל כסכינה דחולה פרזלה, לזה להכת איכא ורדינה ולקטר בנירה ברכה. If someone has a fever, you should take a knife that doesn't have a wooden handle, but the entire knife is made out of metal, and go and find the bush, a thorn bush like this, which is similar to what the sene was, and tie a string made out of hair to it. And then on the first day, you should cut a little bit of the bush off and say, Hashem appeared to Moshe, referring to Moshe, in a bush as a fiery flame. So we're comparing the fever to a flame. But yet the bush was not consumed. You have to say the whole pasuk. And so maybe the idea is just as the fire did not consume the bush, the fever should not consume the person. And so second day, the second day he cuts another bit, and that says the next pasuk, Moshe says, let me go see, why is this tree not burnt, not consumed? And the third day, you go and see, Hashem saw that Moshe went aside and called him, and that's a 3-day remedy. So Amadle Ravacha bered Rava Rav Asher Velema Vayomer Al Tikrav Halom. Hold on, why only saying those 3 pasukim? The next pasuk looks like it's really relevant, where it says the words "don't come close." In other words, these are relevant words because we want the fever not to come close. Of course, in context, it's Hashem talking to Moshe, saying, Moshe, don't come close. So probably the first opinion was emphasizing all the Pesukim that talked about the fire not consuming the bush. But because Ravacha said these words, when you're saying a remedy as an incantation, it's okay to take the words out of context, apparently. First they say 2 Pesukim. Then the second day, on the third day, you say that pasuk that says don't come close, and that way you can include those words of not coming close. Okay, v'chi pasak, it's not over yet. When you're done, when litete ulfaske, you bend down and you cut the bush at the close to the ground, and you say lemahachi haseneh למishum de gvihat mikol ilane ashri hakadosh baruch hu shichin te'alach. and you say, oh bush, it's not because you are the tallest that Hashem rested a Shekhinah on you. Ela mishum demayacht but rather because you are the lowest and you are humble. This is the source of that famous midrash. And then you jump to a different topic, but he's still talking to the bush and say, just as the fire saw Daniel's friends who were thrown into the fire, and the fire did not burn them, and that fire ran away. So too, this fire, this fever, should run away from me. Okay, that's the end of that and that remedy. Now, what I think is interesting is that you're speaking to the bush. It's not even like he's addressing Hashem as a prayer, but rather to the bush. It reminds me of people who say Berkat Levana, and they think that they're praying to the moon, which makes a huge difference, right? Is the difference between prayer and an incantation. And so here it's addressed to the bush. But even more problematic is the fact that he's using pisukim in Sanhedrin, the famous Mishnah, Kol Yisrael Yesh Lehem Chelek Olam Haba, lists those who don't have a Chelek Olam Haba are people halochesh al hamaka, someone who whispers over a wound, and even worse if he says a pasuk about it. He uses a pasuk as an incantation. So how is this permitted? To use a pasuk here seems to fly in the face of the Mishnah. So there are several possible answers. The Rishonim all notice this and deal with it. Tosafot says it's sakanat nefashot. There's a fever. He's going to die from this. So you can violate. It's not technically avodah zarah, it's sorcery. So it's not one of the big three. Meiri says, no, if it was only an incantation, it wouldn't be allowed. But here is also doing something. It's an action. So it's the action that's partly doing it, not only the pasuk that he's saying. And Maharsha says, no, it's not an incantation at all. This is a way of making us more humble. We're coming to the bush and seeing how humble the bush is, and then hopefully we will humble ourselves, and through that merit, we can be healed. So they need to justify it in different ways. Okay. Now, the next problem we have is boils. The simta lema hachi baz bazya mas masya kas kasya sharlai van melai ilen malache de ishtalahu mar'a distom ul asata shechina keibin bezach bazich baz bezach mas machsich kamon kamich enich bich enich bich atraich bich zarich kekalut uchfir da de la para vela rabia kach lo tifre velo tirbe bigufe defloni bat pelonit. If you didn't understand all those words, don't worry. About half of them were nonsense words. So these are different names of angels. They have some play on words that you know, like mas masya. Maseh means to heal. And so it could be something like that. But within the incantation, we say these are angels that came from Sodom to come and heal. This is not a description. This is actually part of it, which is also not. I don't know what it's talking about. Angels that came from Sodom. Why would you want those? And then we go on, and we finally say that your appearance should remain as it is. In other words, the boil should not get worse, and it should remain in the place where it is. In other words, they shouldn't spread. And so just like a mule cannot spread, boils should not spread. Okay, so this is just advice saying that this works. It's not, even though it's only an incantation, but there's no pisukim in it. Lechifa, for a wound, lemahachi cherev shedufa veketa netusha la sheme yochav holin machobin. You just say drawn sword, ready sling, it shall not be an ache, sickness, or pain. Okay. Don't ask me to explain how these work. Leshida lemahachi. If you want to be saved from a demon, this is what you say. Havet fakek havet. Litat tavod umshumat bartit bartame bartina keshamgaz merigaz veis temai. So you're stopped up, cursed, broken, excommunicated, and you this demon is called the tit bar tameh bartina. You say the name of it, and that way the demon will be stopped up. Now, if you have an even worse situation of shida de bet hakiseh lamahachi, if the demon's in the bathroom, I hate when that happens. Then you say this: akar kafe dare ve'asuse de guriata ashkahtun de shidai bar shirika panda bemeshra de charate habte beloa de hamra de harte. At the head of the lion and the nose of a lioness, we found a demon, and this is what's its name, Shirka Panda. And with the bed of leeks, I killed it, and the jaw of a donkey, I struck it. All right, that should do the trick. And now finally the last item on the previous Mishnah that said princes are allowed to go outside on the Shut Rabim wearing bells on their shoulders as an ornament. Mantana, who is the author of this statement? Amar Rabbi Oshaya, Rabbi Shimonhi. The Amar Kol Yisrael B'nei Melachim Hem. This is good. We're still like Ba'omer, and this is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, so we can quote from some of his Torah today. And he says, Talmud says this. He is the author of this halacha because this applies not only to princes but to everyone. You see, the problem is that if anyone who's not a prince wears the bells, and people may make fun of him, what do you think? You're so fancy putting these bells? Then they'll take them off and carry them, right? Or or
don't they make noise? Don't they make sound?
Yeah, they might make noise. That would be a different problem, like an instrument, right? But maybe they don't make noise. Maybe they're just ornamental.
Okay.
And so you might take them off. But Rabbi Shimon says all of Israel are like princes. So that's a very nice and beautiful statement on his part, especially considering, remember when he came out of the cave and saw a farmer just doing some farming, and he said, "What are you wasting your time for?" So he didn't have a lot of patience for commoners, but eventually he did teach that all of Israel are princes. So therefore he can be the author of this and applies to everyone. He says, no, it does not apply to everyone. If it's woven in so that it cannot be taken off, then anyone can wear it. And so in fact it's not only to be Shimon, it applies to all people, and it's the opinion of everyone. But if it was not sewn in, then in fact only a prince could wear it.
Okay. Rabbi, the jawbone thing, the dying jawbone, is that a reference at all to Shimshon?
Yeah, I was thinking he definitely uses a jawbone to knock down an entire army. So
yeah. And wasn't that after like the riddle with the lion's head?
Oh, okay. So that has to do with the lion and the lioness. Oh, very good. Okay. How about the leeks?
Yoshana.
No clue.
Okay. All right, we got to work on the leeks, see what they're doing there. Yosin bebesat hargol b'shen shu'al masmer min as-salub mishum refuah divrei Rabbi Meir Chachamim omerim v'chamim osrin af bechol mishum darchei ha'amorim. So you can wear outside the Shut Rabim locust egg. This hargol is one of the kosher ones. Locust and this would be a good luck charm, talisman, and a fox tooth. That seems to be international. And a nail from someone who was crucified. That's the really strange one, because I mean that is Roman way of killing people. And all these are for the purposes of healing. Rabbi Meir says these three items are allowed. Hachamim say they are prohibited because this follows the way of the Amorites, right? And says you can't follow their ways. And in the Torah. So this is superstitious, maybe even borders on avodah zarah. So there's really a fundamental machloket here. Let's see how the Talmud discusses it. Yosim b'tzat hargol da'abdel shichala. The locust egg would be good for an earache. B'shen shel shual da'abdel shinta dechaya leman de'nayim. The mita leman de'lanayim. Fox's tooth is good for sleeping. If it's from a live fox, then it's good to wake you up if you're sleeping too much. And if it's from a dead fox, then it will help you go to sleep if you have insomnia. So there is some logic to this. And the nail from someone who was crucified is good for infection. I don't know, it looked like it would be rusty and dirty, but sometimes like dispels like in homeopathic medicine. ואין שום רפואה דברי רבי מאיר. אביי ורבא דאמרת הוויהו, כל דבר שיש בו משום רפואה, אין בו משום דרכי המורי. Is the key line. So they're explaining Rabbi Meir, they seem to actually be agreeing with Rabbi Meir, and it says anything which has the goal of healing is not considered the darkei ha'emori, right? If it's going to heal someone, anything that has medical value, even though it's something that the idolaters do, still you are allowed to do it as well. Okay. Let's see how we apply this. So if it's not for medical use, then it definitely is prohibited. Where we have a counterexample. If you have a tree that its fruit is dropping too early, and when it's not ripe yet, then you put red dye on it and paint it with red, and you put stones on the branches, weigh it down. I understand it makes sense to put the stones on it. Somehow that gravity will weaken the tree, and then it will take longer for it to drop its fruit and it'll be right. Wait till it's ripe. But painting it red, what could that possibly do? Has no natural explanation. So why is it permitted? In other words, it's not for refuah. I mean, it's health of the tree, but we mean, when we say refuah, I mean health of the person. So we already see here is that the Talmud is distinguishing. If it's something that we can explain naturally, scientifically, then it's permitted. But this thing, it doesn't seem to have any real value. But there is an answer. People will see the red marking and they'll say, "Oh, poor tree," and they will pray for the tree. So the marking isn't doing anything directly. It's just an indication that people should pray for it. Someone who has leprosy, he goes out of the city, and people should say, "Tameh, tameh." Not just to embarrass him, but rather to raise awareness that that person is tameh, and then everybody will know about it, and then they will pray for him that he should get better. So too, we do the same thing with the tree. So that's why it's not that Mori. It's the stones are natural, and the red paint is just an indication for prayer. Oh, you know what? We even do this today, Ravina says. We put bunches of unripe grapes on palm trees, and we hope that will help it ripen at the right time. And so I guess we're following that opinion. Tanetana בפרק אמוראה kamed רבי חיה bar Abin. So the Tana, this reciter, the memorizer, he was reciting. There's two chapters in the Tosefta of Shabbat that give lists and lists of things that are mishum darkei emori. So this reciter was reciting this chapter in front of Rabbi Chia. He says, I agree with everything on the list. All of them, all these things are prohibited, except for these two. Lebar mehaneh. מי שיש לו עצם בגרונו מביא מאותו המין ומניח לה עד כל קודו ולמהכי חד חד נחת בלה בלה נחת חד חד אין בו משום דרכי המורי. Someone has a bone stuck in his throat. He takes the same type of bone and puts it on the person's forehead, and he says one by one, go down, be swallowed, and then reverse it, swallow, descend one by one. And this is a good example of homeopathic medicine. Somehow the like will attract or push away the similar item. And for a fish bone, this is also in that list, but Rabbi Chia says it's permitted. Nin aseta kemachad nin alasta kiteris. Shaya, shaya. You're stuck like a needle, you're locked like a shutter, let the bone go down, go down. Okay, so now we're going to discuss this example. Ha'omer gad gadi vesanuk la ashki ubushchi. Yesh bo mishum darkei hamori. If someone says gad, which means fortune, right? My fortune be fortunate, and by day and by night it should always be around. That is darkei hamori. Right? This is just a nonsense incantation and is not permitted. רבי יהודה אומר, גד אינו אלא לשון עבודה זרה, שנאמר האורחים לגד shulchan. Pasuk in Yeshua mentions God as a name of a foreign god. And so he says, this is not only darkei mori, a way of sorcery and copying what following what they do. This is even worse. This is actually idolatry. You're actually invoking the name of a foreign god. I think it's interesting that one of our Shivatim, Gad, happens to be also the same word as a foreign deity. Hu bishma vehi bishmo yesh bo mishum darchei mori. If a man calls himself by his wife's name, his wife calls herself by his name for some good fortune, that is also darchei mori. Donu daneh, he says, my barrel should be strengthened. Incantations often have rhyme and assonance. Yesh bo mishum darkei mori. Rabbi Yehuda omer, en dan ela lashon avodah zara shenemar nishba'im ba'ashmat shomeron ve'amru he Elohecha dan. Rabbi Yehuda again says, not only is this prohibited because of but rather it's also avodah zara. And the Pasuk in Amos is referring to Dan because that's where in the north they set up the two golden calves, and one of them was in Dan. And so by invoking Dan, he's invoking the avodah zara that was placed there in the north. Haomed la'orev, ravens were always considered bad luck. Serach le'or bata, shiriki v'chaziri li zenabech letoba yeshbo mishum darkei mori. It says scream. He says to the female, whistle and turn around. That's darkei mori. That was considered bad luck if a raven screams while in your vicinity, and so this can undo it. Someone says, take this rooster and kill it, because either one interpretation is that it sounds like an orev, right? It has the sound even if it's not a raven, or that it called in the evening. In other words, it's calling out, but like rooster sounds, but not at the right time. Something wrong with it. Maybe it's possessed or something. Du shechita. Or a chicken that sound a female that sounds like a male, doesn't sound right. If you say kill it for that reason, that's darkei mori. If you happen to be hungry and you kill it anyway, and you want to kill it, that's okay, but not for this reason, to get rid of its demon. Someone says, I'm going to drink and they have left over. In other words, he wants his wine to be more potent than it is, that he could drink less and so that he'll still have some left over. That also is not good. That's what the idolaters do. Crack an egg on a wall so that in front of chicks, so that the chicks will live. That's no good. Storing a pot in front of chicks so that they will live, also not good. Someone who dances and counts 71 chicks, somehow that will ensure that they don't die, not allowed. Someone does some kind of dance. A kutach is a dish made out of salt and bread that ferments, and so it lasts a long time. But you got to get it just right. And so she does a dance to make it right. Or she wants everything to be quiet as she's making the lentils so they'll cook properly. I guess lentils, they're round, they have no mouth, so you need quiet while they're cooking. Or she screams for barley so that will cook properly. All these talking to your food, singing to your food, screaming at it are prohibited. Urinating in front of the pot in the hopes that it will cook quickly also is the way of the Amorites. But what you are allowed to do is take this chip of a mulberry wood or a shard of glass, you put in the pot, and that will make it cook more quickly. Apparently, this mulberry has like vinegary, and maybe that would change the boiling temperature. I don't know. But the Chachamim say, do not put the shard of glass in it. Even if it works, it's still not a good idea because that would be dangerous. Tanu Rabbanan, notnin bul shel melach letoch haner b'shvil sheta'ir v'tadlik. You can put a lump of salt into a lamp so it'll burn brightly. This probably does work. If you remember your chemistry classes, you put different kinds of chemicals in fire and it changes color and it burns brightly. So you can do that, even though it kind of looks like magic. It's not magic, it's simple chemistry. You are also allowed to put mud or clay under the candle. Remember that it will be made out of clay itself, so that it burns longer. This actually should work because if the clay will cool down the lamp, and when the oil is cooler, it will burn more slowly, and that way it will last longer. So this is simply scientifically accurate, even though it looks like a trick. Hamar zutra hayman de michse sheraga de mishcha umegale nafta ka'abar mishum bal tashchit. These two things are not allowed because they're destroying wantonness for no reason. If you cover an oil lamp, this would be the same principle. If you putting a cover over an oil lamp, not a total cover, otherwise there'd be no oxygen, it wouldn't burn at all. But a partial cover is going to contain the heat, and that heat is going to make the oil hotter, and if the oil is hotter, it's going to burn faster, and for no reason, you're just destroying oil. Or if you take a kerosene lamp and uncover it, kerosene is flammable. By uncovering it, it's going to go out of the wick and burn all of it at once. And so both of these is just related, nothing about magic. Both of these things are prohibited because you're destroying Bal Tashchit. And finally, Hamra v'chaye lefum rabbanan en bo mishum darkei mori. If you're making a toast and you say wine and life to the mouth of the sages, that's okay. It's just a nice toast. It's not an incantation about the wine like the other example before. And in fact, Maaseh Rabbi Akiva she'asa mishteh libno bal kol kos v'kos shehebi amar Hamra v'chaye lefum rabbanan chaye v'chamre lefum rabbanan ulfum talmidehon. When Rabbi Akiva himself was making a banquet for his son, like maybe he was getting married, and every cup of wine that they drank together, he would say this toast. And so, since he did it, therefore it's obviously permitted. So Hadran alach b'ma isha. This concludes our Perek, but I do want to end the day with a halacha from Harambam, so we can put these different magical practices into context. And so Rambam in the laws of Avodah Zarah quotes the Mishnah, really. It says, Halochesh ala makah, someone who whispers an incantation over a wound, pasuk min Torah, or if he says a pasuk from the Torah over a wound to heal, v'chen hakoreh al tinok shelo yib'at, or he says a pasuk because the child is scared, and you say pasuk to calm the child down. Or we put Sefer Torah, a little tefillin in the baby's crib so that it will sleep. I know some people do this today. They put a mezuzah or a chamseh. They put some different things in the crib. Rambam says, Lo dai lahem shehem bichlal min hachashim v'choberim. First of all, they are soothsayers and magicians, which is permitted from the Torah. But worse than that, Ela shehen bichlal hakoferim b'Torah she'en osim divrei Torah refuat guf. They're worse than that because they are denying the kedusha of the Torah, because they're saying, taking the words of the Torah, which are meant for our spiritual benefit. These are spiritual teachings, and they're turning them into things that are of practical, medicinal benefit. They should be chayim lenafshecha, for your soul, and not give life to your body. But even the Rambam has to limit a bit. If a healthy person does want to say some Pesukim or Tehillim so that it will protect him, the merit of saying it will protect him so he won't get sick, that's permitted. So he allows it because it sounds like people really want to say Tehillim, because it's not changing a status from one to the other. And it's not, nowadays, now I don't think that the words themselves are doing it, but rather the merit. So it won't come to a person thinking that it's actually an incantation. At the end of that chapter, if he goes through lots of other examples, he says all these things are false, lies, that Avodah Zarah, this is all fake news, that the early idolaters from all the lands practiced. And that the Jewish people should be smarter than that and realize that they're all nonsense. Because all these other nations, they do magic. Anyone who believes in any of these things and thinks that they really work, and think that they are wisdom, about Torah Satan, if he says, I think they work, but I won't do them because it's prohibited. Rambam says, these people are stupid. They have no knowledge. People that are not educated. They are prohibited, and not only they're prohibited in Torah, they also are nonsense. Again, maybe they're prohibited because they're nonsense. And that's why Torah says, Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha, just be simple, perfect in faith, and do the right thing, and then you won't need to need any of those tricks or things. But it does look like the sages in the Talmud, at least some of them, did think that these things work, and in some ways that's also an interesting opinion to say, maybe it works, but it's still not allowed because they do it. But it looks like everyone agrees, bottom line, based on that statement of Abaye and Rava, that if it actually works, that you can show, based on clinical trial, that this thing is effective, even if it happens to come from the Emorim that first made it. But still, once you show that it works, then then that means it does have medicinal value. Not so different from Tylenol. Nobody knows how it works, but we know that it does work, although that doesn't come from the Amorites doing it. So Baruch Hanai Olam B'Amen, Chazak Chazakim Baruchim, on completing a chapter. And tomorrow we start the 7th Perek, which is foundational, is when we learn about the 39 Melachot, finally. Right? After all these details, now we get to that